Hey everybody, I'm a good creator and I like to create things. This is the word equals palette challenge. The word defines the colors I use and what the colors are. I have realized you people liked the last video, so I shall do it once more. I will finish a work in 5 minutes, 30 minutes, and an hour. This week's word is table. The color palette I've came up with is Tuscan red, Aquamarine, Bole, light coral, and English violet. Let's begin! For the 5-minute work, I begin by silhouetting the ground background and the table. Once I had the table in front of me, I started thinking about what was usually on a table. The first thing that popped into my mind was a vase, so I began. I drew out a vase and I drew the next object. For this object, I wanted to be a statue that is recognizable. I first began by trying to be abstract, but that didn't work out. As a result, I decided to draw a figure instead. A figure on a stand holding a spear. I still have time on my side, so I decided to draw one more object. For the last object, I decided to make another vase, but more round in size. The vase will also have a purpose. The vase will be used to hold flowers. Once I finished drawing the vase, I began to draw the flowers. The work is now finished. How one keeps and decors their house can tell you a lot about that person, or not. Who owns this table is someone who appreciates ancient works of the art and the ones who make the art. Now, let's begin doing the 30-minute work. I first begin by drawing out a table and then drawing out the ground. Once I was satisfied with the ground, I started to make the shadow for the table. I spent the next 10 minutes trying to figure out what is the best look for the shadow. After 10 minutes, I began to add objects to the table. My idea was to add a chess game. First, I began with the checkerboard and then the chess pieces. Trying to make the chess pieces at this pixel scale will not work. Instead, I started to make small sculptures of round shapes but with a symmetrical placement of the pieces. After some time, I also created 2 more tables to fit the 2 bigger sculptures. The work is now finished. My thoughts on this work. I really like how I make the sculptures. They look odd, but that was the look I was trying to go for. Now, it is time to do the 1-hour work. Like all the other works, I create the background with the same color scheme. Unlike all the other works, I begin by creating a tree. Next, I started to add tables to the tree branches. I began to detail the tree, and once I was satisfied, I started to add tables everywhere with different heights. As a result, I began to add ground shadows to both the table and the tree. All the tables are looking empty, so I decided to give each and every table a structure. To make this work look more interesting, I started to add a dithering effect to both the ground and the sky. I realized I didn't like how the tree looked, so I replaced it with a very long table. On top of the table has a structure that somewhat looks like a star. The work is now finished. When I look at this work, it makes me think of this. An endless world with an endless amount of tables. As far as the eye can see, every table is the same size except the legs. The legs can be as tall as a tree or as short as a mouse. On top of every table is a unique structure that never repeats. Goodbye everyone, and have a great day.